We're back again with another episode of Bench Talk. Start of the Premier League season. Friday night's game started off to kick off the Premier League season. Man City versus Burnley. Good game. I expected Man City to win, to be fair. But I was more surprised by Burnley, the way that they pressed. They looked pretty good in attack. And of course, Vincent Kompany came back as a manager this time, to face his old club. So seeing how he is as a manager and a coach was great. Yes, City won the game, but Burnley has many positives to take out. And I feel like, this year they have a good chance of staying up. Maybe, being around that mid-table team, or a bit lower actually. But from the football that they played, I was impressed with the confidence. And they have a few players as well that are ballers, can't lie to you. So that was good. Man City, they did what they're supposed to do. They just won the treble last year. So, they scored a very early goal. Once they scored an early goal, they're able to not dominate the game, but have a bit more confidence, make sure that they get the W. Haaland got his 2 goals as well. So, that was a great game for Friday night to start off. And obviously, I know why the Premier League probably did that game as well. Like I said before, Vincent Kompany coming back, facing his old team in Man City. So it's a good way to start off the Premier League season. The other games that I watched as well was first, before I talk about Chelsea, I want to talk about Luton versus Brighton. So just from the Brighton game versus Luton, we know that Luton came up from the Championship via the playoffs. Right now Luton, they're not able to play home games right now because they need their stadium to be developed, so that's actually able to be played in for health and safety reasons as well. So these few games for Luton to start with on the road is going to make it a bit difficult for them as well, and for them it's every point that matters. So just from the game alone, you could just see the quality difference from the Championship to the Premier League. Luton just looked like half a yard off pace. When I say off pace, don't mean like they're not fit. It's just the levels are just levels in the Prem. Brighton was literally twisting them up. Like Luton had 10,000 men behind the ball and still they were getting peppered. So yeah, you already know it's going to be a long day. I mean, of course it was 2-0 or 2-1 until my man in the midfield made a mistake, gave Brighton the goal, 3-1, pretty much game over. But to be fair, unless it's for the penalty, which was, Luton didn't seem like they were going to score at all. Attacking opportunities, didn't really see anything special, but they did play with a lot of heart and they did try. So I've got to give Luton credit for that. They played with heart and they tried, but you can see that they need some more signings. They need to hit the loan market hard to even have a chance to score goals or stay up. They need to hit the loan market very hard. So I know they got Ross Barkley, for example, but he ain't gonna be the difference maker like that in this team. I can tell you that for free. They need 1 or 2 big difference makers. So if I was Luton, I'd probably get they need another forward player if either of the 3 roles, and they need I would say a defender, but because they're playing with 10,000 men at the back anyway, actually they need to get another attacking midfield player as well to score some goals, create chances, because against Brighton, it just looked easy for Brighton, to be fair. Yes, Luton was in the game, but they wasn't really troubling Brighton from an attacking point of view. So for me, Luton is going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season, but it was a good game to watch. It was the first game as well, so the first game is always like a warm-up. It's like an extra pre-season game before teams really start to, ramp it up, fully get into their groove and stuff. But from today's game alone, or from that game alone, Luton versus Brighton, yeah, Luton's going to have a long season. So hopefully they're able to hit, the August market, and get someone pretty good, a player or 2, and then that just can keep them around the relegation, a little bit above or around there, but close to everyone in that pack until January, when they will know what signings they need to make to take to another level or not. But for Brighton, they're looking good. But I'm not surprised, you know, playing Zerbi football, attacking, pressing, Mitoma doing this thing. So from a Brighton point of view, expect them to have a good season. But that game was an interesting game for me to watch. Just to see the quality difference in these championship teams when they come up from the championship to the Prem, and Luton looks like one of them teams that's really going to struggle. So that was an interesting game for me to watch. For my team, Chelsea versus Liverpool, I've got to say, as a Chelsea fan, I knew when Poch, I was screaming the one, when Poch comes in, the football's going to be different. It's going to be banging. It's going to be tasty. It's going to be attacking. It's going to, you know what I mean? It's going to be zip, 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 zip. There's going to be patterns of play. Watch the first game. I was impressed and optimistic for the season. Like the way we were attacking and created a lot of chances in good areas of the pitch. There was too many positives to take. The pattern of play from an offensive point of view was beautiful. Like if you watch the game, turn off the volume, just watch the football. The pattern of play, the sequences, like everything was beautiful. Like you could see like what we want to do, where we want to get to. And when attacking, we played that three at the back. So it was really utilising Reece James and Ben Chilly like on the wing space as wing backs, and they were dominating them too. They were dominating. So from an attacking point of view, it was really good. I mean, there was times that we were sloppy and gave away the ball, especially in our own half, or there was times when we were attacking in their half where we could have done more, where we lost the ball or was passed off a little bit. But for the first game, I've got to say, the attacking prowess and the way we're going to use those wing backs, it's going to be a long day. The defending was solid, except for conceding one goal. That one goal, we looked a bit shaky when we conceded because they broke the lines with the pass. But except for that, we were good. Colwell, good, he looks solid, comfortable. I like he's playing with Thiago as well. We were a little bit veteran as well. So that helps as well. Having the vet there and Thiago Silva just helps our young players as well. So I thought he looked good that day. We were aggressive, setting the tone. Like, especially after Liverpool went 1-0 up. I'm seeing every man start clamping. Like clamping, Enzo clamping, Colwell clamping. Like just bullying. I'm seeing Gallagher on there on the clamping thing. Everyone was on clamping. So the aggression, first of all, I loved it. And it let me know 1-0 down, we stepped up a level. We went up a level. We dominated that game. We absolutely, I don't even need to look at stats. Just watching the game, dominated fully. And what I liked again is we went 1-0 down and the aggression went up another notch. Like we just stepped it up. So that impressed me very well. For me as well, facing Liverpool, I don't care what no one says, that's a good game, a good test for the first game of the season. It lets you know as your own, like, okay, where did I measure up to? How are we playing? And then from there, we can step it up. So I feel like if you make a few tweaks, and this is not being sloppy, not being sloppy is the main thing really, and then making sure that we just play our game, we're going to be good, because you can see the pattern of our play is strategical. There's a way that Poch wants us to play. The pressing was good as well, but it's the attacking play that I loved as well. So I feel really good right now. Really good. The only thing that's going to stop us is ourselves, and this is why I feel like we're going to be one of the people, or one of the teams to challenge, for sure. We're definitely challenging. Like I have no doubts about that, especially if we stay injury free. And then what we're forgetting, or other people forget, is our bench is deep. It's a deep bench, and then we just got our boy as well from Brighton to come to. I'm not going to get too excited because it's the first game of the season, but the way we played from an attacking point of view, beautiful. Defensive point of view, beautiful. The press and the aggression was beautiful, and you can see that the culture is just gonna go up. It's just gonna go up. So I was very happy with the first game of the season. First game of the season, we did very well. And like I said before, the last thing I'm going to say before I close this topic is we're going to be when I told you when Poch took over, we're going to be dangerous and the football is going to look good on the eye. There's control with intent. And what more can you expect from that? So let's see. First game of the season, I'm trying not to get too excited, but we've got a bench. We've got ballers and they're young, hungry players. Nothing more that you want, and we've got a few veterans here to, help with the locker room. So happy with that first game of the season. And then for Monday Night Football, yesterday's game, Manchester United versus Wolves. First half was a tight game. Wolves was looking good. Manchester, they wasn't looking too bad, but they wasn't looking too great. So there's a few tweaks about it that they need to do, but at the end of the day, they got the W. And that's what matters, you get the W. It doesn't matter how you look, what you do, if you get the W, you got the W. And that's the one thing Manchester's going to be happy about. If they can play scrappy or not play great and get a W, that's going to mean a lot of good things for them. That means that's going to be top 4 available. That also means that right now they've got time to keep improving. So like I said, the first game of the season, so for Manchester United to play like that, the boys weren't firing. They're looking needy, but they got the W, and that's the main thing. But I think, Manchester United, I can see them getting top 4. The defence is going to be solid. Varane's playing well. Lindelof's going to play well, and Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw are going to do their thing. So top 4 for United, I see it happening. The same, Arsenal as well versus Nottingham Forest. They look okay, decent, but Nottingham Forest look good as well. It's not like they should have already been 1-0 up, but my man missed a chance as well. But you could see, when Nottingham Forest made the substitutions that who need to be playing, they look better, they look more dangerous. They almost crept back on Arsenal as well. I'm not too sure about the Arsenal squad. I mean, I did like Saka's goal. Saka's goal was a banger, and Martinelli's trick was amazing. Obviously, he did the pirouette. Once he did the pirouette, to be fair, he had no option but to actually pass it. So for me, what Martinelli did was on purpose, strictly on purpose, just strategical, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It's like a bit of skill, and to be fair, he's Brazilian, so I mean, to be fair, I don't think you should really be shocked about that. He's got tricks for days, you know what I mean? So anyone that's saying that Martinelli's pass or assist was, was by accident, or just being a hater. Yeah, I support Chelsea, but I'm not gonna be a hater. I like ballers, and for him to do the pirouette, the defenders are literally about to squash him like this, so he just passed it, back heel, had no choice but to do it. Eddie took it, scored a goal. It was good. So, what I liked about Arsenal is they were just being killer instincts. Like, we take our chances. We get a chance, we're gonna take it. If you guys get a chance and you don't take it, that's your own prerogative. That has nothing to do with us. So, for me, there's a few teams I'm going to be watching this year in the Premier League. Main teams that I'm going to be watching really and updating about will be like Chelsea, Luton, and a few of my surprise teams as well, like Aston Villa, that I'm going to be updating about. So keep an eye on that for sure to see what my thoughts and opinions are. And I'm going to give previews as well for the next game so that you guys can see, who I think is going to win the next Chelsea game, for example, whenever they're facing someone, and then what I'm expecting from the Luton games, as well as the Aston Villa games as well. Controversial calls over the weekend, or over the 4 days since the first game of the Premier League season. Number 1 was the handball by Chelsea, Jackson. The handball. Can't lie, it was a handball. It was a handball. It was definitely a handball. But to be honest here, my man almost scored an own goal. So technically, even though VAR should have checked, he gave a pen. I think they realised, first of all, no one was around him. Secondly, he almost punished himself. Like, he punished our own team, so it was good enough punishment. But my man, Mr. J, the striker, or Mr. Jackie, you know what I mean? To be fair, it was our own fault that we even got the corner because we gave away the ball in our own half anyway. So that corner should have never happened. But was it handball? Yes. Should they have been given a pen? Yes. But I just think because of the situation, it just didn't make sense to give the penalty. So thank you so much, VAR. Keep being on our side because we're going to need you this year. The second controversial call of the weekend, Onana. Boy, for me that's a pen, 100% pen, but I gotta rate my man because he just said F it. He just said F it, cleared everyone out, didn't give two toss who was in the way, and he's aggressive. So that's the thing I like about Onana, like he's aggressive, like he's not playing about, no lele, no playing about, just boom. If you're there in my way, you need to, you need to go. Like there was even one play with Luke Shaw where my man just came out, cleared Luke Shaw as well. So there should have been two penalties over the weekend. Both of them did not get given. But for circumstances in football, sometimes I think you got to understand as well. It's the first game of the season, so I'm not going to look into the Premier League table and be making too many comments on the table. But the one thing I do want to point out is Newcastle is looking dangerous. First game of the season, to be honest with you, we've got to remember that a lot of these clubs got Champions League football as well as Premier League football, such as Newcastle. So we have to take these things into consideration. But for the first game, Newcastle was on smoke. I have to rate it. I like what they were on so far that game. Very impressed. I already got my Premier League table that I feel like who's going to finish in the top four. My top four is going to be City, Chelsea, United and Liverpool. That's my top four. I think Arsenal's going to miss out. Remember, with the first game of the season going on as well, teams get to assess who should be starting, not starting. Secondly, we got to the end of the month, so another 16 days until the transfer window is closed. So there's a lot of big moves that can be made as well from now to the 31st of August. But just based on like the first few games of the season, based on the first game of the season though, who's really impressed me the most? Chelsea, not biased, Newcastle as well, and Burnley. Burnley really impressed me with how they pressed. They pressed super high as well. So those were like the three teams that really, really impressed me in terms of style of play. Forget about the score, forget about who won or who lost. Just the style of play and the intention. Those three teams impressed me the most. So I feel like it's going to be a very exciting Premier League season this year. If you haven't seen already, I might put up the table as well to show you who I'm predicting to be finish in the top four, who's going to be relegated, and my middle grounds as well for the European spots. My surprise relegated team though will be West Ham. I feel like they could have a chance. I've got them finishing just above it. The teams I expect to get relegated though this year is Nottingham Forest, Luton and Sheffield United. But as I say before, West Ham is going to be like my surprise team that could see themselves in that battle as well. So like I said, it's going to be an exciting season. I can't wait for a few more games to play so we can really start to analyse, see the team squad, see how they're really going to line up. And around Christmas time is when we can, not even Christmas time, October, it's when you get to really see what teams are really about as well. So what I might do as well is, if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to share you my prediction for the Premier League table, who's going to finish where. If you disagree, let me know. Tell me who you think is going to be in the top four, who's going to be relegated, who's going to be your surprise team as well of the year. Ooh, if you haven't already, watch the boxing over the weekend. It was Anthony Joshua in the ring again versus that guy H. I must not call him H. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was an okay fight, but it wasn't a great fight. Also, I was happy that Anthony Joshua got the knockout as well. It was a nice, devastating knockout. And the reason why I like the knockout is because Derek James was literally in the corner telling like, yo, you have to do this and that. And Anthony Joshua was literally like, oh no, I can't see it. Like, no, I can't do it. Like, basically it's just whinging. It's not like, I can't do it. Next thing you know, he comes, did exactly what Derek James told him to do. Boom, got the knockout that round. And what I liked is that Derek James was sticking it on him, like letting him know, like, no, you need to do this. Like, forget your opinion, bro. This is what you need to do. And when he did it, he got the knockout. And you can see that's and you can see by the way he reacted. You know, did a lap of honor around the ring, drinking the beer from Conor McGregor. He's drinking the beer and that from McGregor. Gas, budding everyone. You know what I mean? Like, he did that as soon as he got the knockout. He jumped out the ring. He was over. Jumped out the ring. Started doing a lap of honor. So you could tell the raw emotion which we like. He needed that knockout for his own confidence, his own good. You know, just to like. Sometimes you got to remind yourself, like, who are you? Like, this is who I am. And you know, it's been a while since he had a knockout. Because remember, he's been losing as well. So it probably thought, or if he's been winning, he hasn't been winning like, you know, convincingly or anything. Just so it's good that he got that knockout. So I feel actually happy for AJ. But from a fight perspective, like, to be fair, boxing's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, let me see you get punched in the face and see like if you be on it, or like get knocked out, see if you be. Of course you're gonna be cautious. You're a human being, innit? So I get that from Anthony Joshua's point of view, because yeah, man, you get knocked out or this happens to you, like, yeah, you're human. You gotta be cautious in that. You can't just be moving wild. So I get him, but at the end of the day, it's boxing, and this is the sport that he chose. So you know, he just needs to get on it. He's got to trust his chin that he ain't gonna get knocked out like that, or get put down, or get dazed. You know what I mean? And he's just got to use his essentials, his body, his assets. That's it. And hopefully, you know, the confidence goes up and he's able to, you know, get back into those ways. Because it was very slow fight. He took some damage. It's not like he took some damage, etc. So hopefully, like, the next person he fights, obviously he can train for them and he'd be ready to fight them as well, because he was prepared for Dillian White. This was a last minute replacement, so it's a different factor as well when you have already trained for a specific guy. So that's nothing you got to take into consideration. But yeah, don't blame me. I'm happy you got the W. I wanted to keep going strong, and like, you know, soon he'd be ready to face like, you know, Wilder or Fury and cash out. It's a business, so cash out. You know what I mean? And do you? But right now he's not ready to fight Wilder, because Wilder hasn't changed since he got knocked out from Fury. He hasn't changed. Joshua has changed. Wilder hasn't changed. So I feel like Wilder will just come in trying to just knock it. He trying to take off this guy's head. No cap. Like, he'll probably try to take this guy's head off. So it was a good fight for Joshua. I'm happy he got the knockout, and hopefully we just see what happens with him going forward. Definitely needs another fight before Wilder, but the knockout and the way he reacted after the knockout, you can tell that a sense of relief has been let out of him. So hopefully going forward he can progress and trust himself a bit more. But in life or anything, you know, it's all about confidence, and if you don't have the confidence, or like, you know, it's not fully there, it affects how you move as a person. So we'll see what happens in the next fight that he has, but it's gonna be interesting times. So yeah, that's another episode of Bench Talk. If you haven't already, subscribe, or as well check out the Instagram as well. We have some content there as well too. And if you want to, leave a comment and tell a friend to tell a friend.